What's up, everyone? Jared Holmes here with Caden Bishop.
Caden Bishop.
Hell
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
bro. And today we're kind of just gonna rattle off some shit about NASCAR. We're gonna talk about how we got into the sport. This is kind of like episode zero of a NASCAR podcast that we are planning. We're gonna talk about our favorite drivers, and hell, for the hell of it, we're gonna talk about everything that happened at Cota today. But let's talk about how me and you kind of met first. We met through the app Amino through the NASCAR community, and
Yep.
that
I mean,
NASCAR Amino, huge part of our lives, honestly, for the longest time. Like I have met so many great people on there, honestly. Like we actually, was you part of the NASCAR Amino podcast ever, or was it just
uh,
me,
I
Zach?
was on. I was on one or two episodes, I believe, just as a part time. I really got invited to the friend group we were in right around when that was kind of ending and winding down. But I remember being on a few episodes, just kind of as a guest.
Yeah, for sure. That was fun. That was fun. Kind of what we're going for here. But I want to talk about how I kind of got into the sport of NASCAR. It was through my grandma. She was originally from Pittsburgh, Indiana, which was from where Jeff Gordon was from, and she grew up she grew up there and was always a racing fan. Um, And then Jeff Gordon ended up winning the first ever Brickyard, and I believe she was at that race, honestly. And that was really the first. She watched some of the NASCAR races before then, but really, when she heard the kid Jeff Gordon was from Pittsburgh, Indiana, won the Brickyard 400, she was hooked. And then
That's pretty cool.
I kind of just gradually became a fan because she always watched it. I've fallen out. She passed away in 2021, and I kind of quit watching there for a bit because it's something I always watched with her. And
Yep.
last couple of years, especially this year, I really started getting back into it, producing content on TikTok for it. So I kind of just have to watch it now. How did you get into the sport?
Well, it's actually funny that we mentioned it because I was looking at pictures today from the first race I ever went to. It was the 2008 Bristol night race, and I was born not long before that. So I was able to go to a race. I've been fortunate enough to be able to go to races literally my entire life. So it's been cool. Like I don't really remember how I got into it per se, but it's always been there for me. I grew up. My dad took me to races. His friends that are his age. He goes with a group of guys, and I've always just gone with them. So I used to be Kyle Busch fan because that's my dad's driver. Carl Edwards, now Ryan Blaney. It's kind of drivers retire. You change interest, you grow up. But I've always been a NASCAR fan, and now I'm fortunate enough to be able to talk about it, and I want to make it a career someday. And it's cool, man. It's a great sport. Love to be a part of just watching it, and being able to watch it every day is something that's amazing, honestly.
Agreed. Like I feel like NASCAR gets way too much hate. Like a lot of people say, "Oh, it's just another left turn." Like, shut the fuck up. It's so
It's
much
not,
more
bro.
than a
If you
left
know the
turn.
strategies and everything, and how many different points battles go into it, and just the history behind it, it is such a great sport to watch. And I mean, there's so much you can learn, and just it's amazing.
Facts, bro. Like it really, and I know a lot of people say, "Oh, it's not a sport," or and shit. And I think it's just so stupid. Like I said, it gets too much
Yeah.
hate, way more than just a left turn, because you actually like lavish toward, like you grasp onto these jobbers. Like with me, I was always a Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart fan growing up. Then Jeff Gordon retired and Tony retired, pretty much like back to back years. 2015 was Gordon, 2016 was Stewart. I kind of plateaued for a little bit. I started rooting for Kurt Busch. I started rooting for Chase Elliott. But also, I followed Christopher Bell from the Truck Series to the Xfinity Series to the Cup Series. And Christopher Bell, my favorite driver now. And speaking of Christopher Bell, he fucking won Cota today. Back to back wins. Let's go. Super excited.
Can't believe it, man. That's crazy.
Like, should have been three wins, honestly. He was in prime position to win the Daytona 500, honestly, before he got wrecked
I
by
was at
fucking
Atlanta
Cole
last week,
Custer.
dude. Cole Custer, bro. Cole Custer's always ruining everything, bro. I mean, did you see the video? Did you see the thing that came out though about his spotter?
No.
I saw a video on Instagram. I'm not sure, like, if it. I think it was a big thing. His spotter was spotting the wrong car on the final lap. He was like saying clear down low," because he thought Cole Custer was William Byron. And I remember him apologizing after the race and being like, "My bad, Cole, wrong car." So that definitely could have played into it. I'm not sure entirely, but I saw that and I was like, "What the heck? How do you spot the wrong car, Mikey?"
Yeah, that's insane. But speaking more on Cota today, stage one and stage two was really all about pit strategy. Typical road course racing, pretty boring honestly for the most part. I'm not a fan of road course racing mostly. Uh, I respect it for what it is. We need it on the schedule for variety. I respect that, but just not my type of racing. But stage three was absolutely insane. We started off with pit strategy and everything cycled out with Kyle Busch leading, but then with about I think it was like 10, 15 to go, something like that, somewhere close to that area. Austin Dillon and Denny Hamlin wrecked. Austin Dillon couldn't get out of the gravel, so it brung out a caution. Um, Denny Hamlin was that. I feel like Denny Hamlin kind of paid back Austin Dillon for Richmond last year. He kind of just drove right into
Dude,
him, man.
he did not give a crap, bro. And I mean, even it's just crazy to me, dude. The way like I was watching it at work actually. I had it set up on my phone. I was watching it on Twitch or something, bro, cuz you can't watch it on anything, you know how it is.
Shout out
And
Twitch,
I had
bro.
it
I
set
love the
up
Twitch streams.
I had it back in the kitchen and I was losing my mind, bro. I was like, "Man, that's a teammate, Austin." I mean, that cost Kyle the race. That's crazy.
Yeah, but bro, like I really do believe Denny Hamlin just drove straight into him. He just drove straight into him, bro.
It would not surprise me in the slightest.
But like I said, it set us up with about 10 to go or so, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. And it was all about the battle of Kyle Busch and Christopher Bell, and what an absolute battle it was. As a Christopher Bell fan, my heart was just a pounding, man. And then he got past him, and Kyle Busch fell back, but then William Byron and Tyler Reddick came into the fray, and Christopher Bell had to hold off both of them charging, and in the end, Christopher Bell did win, and I just thought the race was absolutely amazing. Like, this is my first time ever watching a Cota race. Like I said, I
Yep.
fell out of the sport. I know it was on a new layout, but this new layout absolutely worked. 'Cause I went back and watched this week the first Cota race and last year's
Yep.
Cota race, and I just feel like the new layout worked, man. It gave room for dive bombs. That was the story of the day. Everyone was dive bombing, man. But all around, my just initial reaction to Cota, it was phenomenal. I want them to continue to race here on this layout.
Dude, I am in the same boat. I was only able to watch stage one and two fully, like in depth on my TV, big, paying attention. The rest I was watching at work, just kind of tuning in and out. But for the most part, it was an amazing race. And I remember I haven't watched a full Coda race either. I watched the rain race, that was all crazy. I think it was back in 2021. And I remember, that was crazy, crazy stuff. It wasn't really a normal race. I remember watching the finish from, Ross Chastain, all them beating and banging Alex Bowman, AJ Allmendinger. But this race overall has been the best Coda race we have ever seen as NASCAR fans. And I don't know if it's the new layout or what. I love it personally. Like, you cut off the tip up at the top, which is a big part of Coda. Like, you think of Coda, it's a big part of the layout. But I still just think overall it was just an amazing layout, amazing track, amazing race. There was comers and goers throughout the event. You have your usual road course guys. SVG was up there. Allmendinger was up there. Even the front row guys managed to sneak up there and get good finishes today. Just guys you don't normally see up at the front. We're running up front. And at the end of the day, Bell managed to come through and sneak and get the win, which, we always love to see. Christopher Bell, I love Christopher Bell myself. He's not number one, but I love to see a Christopher Bell win, and it was just a good race overall. I very much enjoyed it, and I think honestly it could have been a little bit longer. Honestly, I think 10, 15 more laps on the end of that thing, we could have developed into an even better battle than we
For
had
sure.
going. And man, you gotta feel for Kyle Busch, dude.
Oh,
I
dude. He's never going to win again, is he? He's never going to win
I
again.
know, dude. That's what I was thinking. I was like, bro, come on, he's gotta win, and it
And
didn't. I
if you
mean,
would have told me 10 years ago that I would be rooting for Kyle Busch to win a race, I would say
I know.
hell no, bro. But like, he's just I don't know what it is about him. Like he has just gained everyone's respect. Like it kind of just happened. Like as soon as he left him, damn cheating Toyotas, as some of the idiotic side of the NASCAR fan base says.
Yep.
I just feel like he's just that savvy veteran that you want to root for now. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
100%, dude. I mean, I am 100% in the same boat with you. Kyle Busch, like as I said, I rooted for Kyle Busch at one point. He's always been my dad's favorite driver. But I've like as growing up, as I've grown up, I've always been gravitating towards other drivers because Kyle Busch is a douchebag, man. You know how Kyle Busch is. But as I've like matured even more, I'm realizing that he's a great father. He's a great figure for the sport. And he continues to go out there and he continues to prove that he himself is maturing as an adult and really maturing into that likable, mentor figure of a driver for whoever comes up through the RCR pipeline or whoever. They have talent. Jesse Love, Austin Hill, but he's there. And Kyle Busch is a great mentor to have on that team. And I really, really hope that he can get a victory or even multiple victories because he is definitely worthy of more than 2 championships and however many victories he has.
for sure. Going through some more of this field, like I said, William Byron, Tyler Reddick ended up finishing second and third. Chase Elliott, he got taken out on the first lap, literally spun on the first lap, but ended up coming back to finish fourth. Like, there was actually a point at the end of stage two where he was 36. He was having
Yep.
some type of handling issues, but coming back to finish fourth, it just goes to show that Chase Elliott has the talent. Like, I know a lot of people think
Oh
he
yeah.
doesn't, but 100% he has proven it time and time again. And for him to fight back and finish fourth in this race just goes to show it Cota takes talent, and the talent rises to the top at tracks like this. Chase Elliott, one of the best in the sport for sure.
Dude, I used to hate Chase
You
Elliott.
did.
I used to be known for screaming and going off after races because Chase Elliott would do good, whatever. But I've met him a couple times. He's grown on me a lot. He's kind of quieter, so it's not easy to hate him. It's not easy to find reasons to hate the guy. So I've grown on him a lot, and I actually have grown to root for him. So seeing this and seeing him be able to cut up through the field, and I actually had money bet on him. So
Hey man, it
I
happens.
mean, I was losing my mind early in the race, and it somehow ended up coming up. Rest of the parlay sold, but that's besides the point. Chase Elliott hit his line. That's all that matters. And I love watching the kid race. He's incredible. After that leg injury, it was really worrisome. We didn't know if he'd be getting back to the level that he was at when he won that championship. And he is there. He is here to play. He is very consistent, and I think he could win the championship this year if it continues.
I truly believe that as well. Talking about some more of these finishers, Chris Buescher continues to impress at road courses, end up finishing seventh. Noah Gragson finishes eighth. Like that, he was quiet all day, and then just kind of out of nowhere with strategy, ended up getting a good points day, finishing eighth. That's good for that entire front row motorsports team.
Yep, 100%. And I brought that up earlier a little bit because I'm a big front row guy. I mean, I wasn't a big Michael McDowell fan, I can't lie, but now that he's out of there, Noah Gregson, he's awesome. Todd Gilliland, he's awesome. Saint Smith, he's all right, but I'll root for him. And I really like the direction the team's going. I think the lower series teams they have are in the roster they're building with Lane Riggs and them is also pretty strong, and I think they have a very bright future. So I love seeing them run up front, especially Noah Gregson, man. He was fun to watch in the Xfinity series, and I love seeing him find his stride in the Cup series.
Brings personality to the sport
Oh yeah,
in the era where personality it does lack, like for sure, for
he
sure.
climbs the catch fence, dude.
Yeah,
That's
dude, that's
insane.
badass, bro. Badass. Another person that had a good turnaround, Alex Bowman, comes back. He had some type
Oh
of
yeah,
issue and also a speeding penalty on pit road. He rallies back to finish ninth. Good day for him. Michael McDowell finishes 11th. Ross Chastain, he normally does pretty good at Cota. Always like near the top five. Kind of quiet day for him in the 12th position. Carson Hocevar, dude was hated last week. I love him. He's my second favorite driver. Absolutely love him. He shot his shot with Madison Beer. Props to him, bro. Shout out Madison Beer if you're watching the pod. But Carson Hocevar was
so
in
so
or around
washed.
the top 10 all day. Go continue to prove that he belongs.
Good stuff, dude.
I love Carson, bro. I personally think that he makes the playoffs on points. That's like my biggest bonus prediction for this
I like
year.
that.
Carson Hocevar uh, on points. Let's see. Let's go through some more of these. Chase Briscoe, Brad Keselowski round out your top 15. Justin Haley ends up finishing 16th, which is kind of disappointing. He was near the top 10 all day. He was involved in a little bit of an accident towards the very end of the race, got pushed off track. Uh, wasn't able to salvage much out of it. Riley Herbst 17th, Ricky Stenhouse, Ryan Blaney, the whole team Penske. I don't know what was
Dude.
wrong with them today.
I don't know, man. I mean, Ryan, I watched the race and he did pretty good. He got up to get 9 points, I believe, at the end of stage two. Finished second to Ryan Preece in the 60 car, but that was just him trying to salvage anything because we did not have the car today. It was running back mid 15th to 20th about. Didn't qualify great to begin with, and I thought he'd work his way up there. Got up to about 11th, 15th, or 14th, somewhere in that area, and he just fell back after getting the stage points. Finished somewhere in that area too. Yeah, he just, man, after two top tens, being one of the only two drivers, him and John Hunter Nemechek, to have two top tens in a row to start the season. I was hoping for a little bit more, but I can't expect much. He hasn't always been great at Cota at all, so
Yeah,
it is what it is. We'll rebound. We'll get him next week.
yeah, Phoenix. Team Penske has just figured Phoenix out, so I expect a big bounce back. I can see Ryan Blaney the winner for next week at Phoenix. Bubba Wallace, stage one winner, finishes 20th. He was kind of just quiet all day. Ended up winning in stage one because of strategy. Denny Hamlin, 21st, man. What the fuck's wrong with Hamlin? Like, he has not
Dude,
been himself this year at all. Does he retire at season's end? I really think so. I think this is Hamlin's last year.
Dude, I definitely could see it happening. I really hope not because I genuinely want him to win a title. Like I know some people have differing opinions, but as someone who grew up watching the sport with Denny Hamlin, I think he has done simply too much not to get that title. How no matter how funny it is that he hasn't gotten it, I'd like to see it happen, and it sucks to see this happening. I don't know what is going on. I mean, it doesn't suck at the moment. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest Denny Hamlin fan. Seeing him shit the bed isn't the worst thing to happen in the world. But I'd like to see him get a championship, and I just don't really know what happened. He went off a cliff, like decline of the century, dude. I don't
Yeah,
get
I
it.
don't. I don't know either. John Hunter finishes 22nd. Legacy still continues to impress. I mean, 22nd ain't the best finish, but after what they had last year, anything's better than mid 30s. So Legacy continued to
Yes,
improve. I would dance on Cole Custer's grave as he finishes 23rd. We hate Cole Custer. Joe Logano, Austin Cindric rounds out the top 25. Josh Berry 26, another like Penske launch. He sucks at road courses, so kind of figured. Eric Jones finishes 27th. Ty Dillon got spun by Austin Cindric early in the race intentionally. Does Austin Cindric
dude.
get does he get suspended? We had Bubba
I
Wallace get suspended a few years ago. Chase Elliott as well. Could we see Austin Cindric getting suspended come Tuesday's penalty report?
So I actually watched it live. I was losing my mind. I remember going in the chat and talking to the boys. I was like, "Bro, did he just do the unthinkable, forbidden activity that has gotten multiple people suspended? It's a road course, so it's not like he came off the wall, whatever. But it's the same type of maneuver. But they let him keep racing. They didn't say anything about it. So I'm not sure if they're going to penalize him. We might see a points penalty, if anything. I'm not sure if we'll see a suspension like we did for the other drivers. Whether it's warranted or not, it was pretty suspicious. Can't
Yeah.
lie, but it was back there in the back of the pack. Boys have at it. It was not. Dude, Ty Dillon is a driving caution clock. I mean, Kaulig Racing is just a joke, dude. I don't know what they're
Yeah,
doing.
I don't know
If
what
they're trying to
happened to
build an
him, man.
organization,
They had
they just
so
fucking
much
they
hype
suck.
like 5 years ago. They were so hyped
Dude,
up, and then stupid decisions, man. Stupid decisions.
AJ Allmendinger and Ty Dillon is your full time drivers. Are you kidding me, man? It's not a
Speaking
recipe for success.
speaking of AJ Allmendinger, he finishes 30th. He was sixth with 6 to go. He was like in the sixth position with 6 to go. I didn't even notice until I was looking at results before we started filming that he fell back that far. I ended up looking and he had some type of tire issue or something, falling back to 30th. That's unlike AJ Allmendinger at a road course. He's always in the top 10, which he was in the top 10 all day. A sad,
Yep.
disappointing day after the season he had started out with.
I mean, you gotta love AJ Allmendinger. If you have been watching the sport for a while, you know AJ Allmendinger. He is a familiar face. Drove the 47 car, was very good at road courses, a road course ringer for a very long time. Went down to the Xfinity Series. He's been bouncing back and forth, but he is a very talented driver, and I love watching him on these road courses, regardless of how he finishes. Sucks that he fell back to 30th. Not yeah, like again, I didn't see it. I'm not sure what happened to him. I saw
I
last time I
have
checked,
no
he was like
idea.
sixth or something
I was
before
watching
the
the battle for
caution
the
or
lead. They
before
didn't really
the
talk about it on the broadcast. And speaking of
yeah,
the
man.
broadcast, Fox did so terrible, man. Like
They suck, dude.
they wasn't updating their ticker. They went to caution literally like yesterday in the Xfinity series, which was it was CW actually, not Fox. But anyways, I got to speak on this. Yesterday, during the Xfinity series race, CW went to commercial right after Connor Zilic won the race. Like literally didn't. They went to picture in picture for his fucking burnouts. I'm like, what the hell?
That doesn't even make sense, dude. It drives me insane that they do this. And like they've been trying. Like don't get me wrong. Like they do more side by sides now than ever before. They do some things, but it's just not the level that we expect from NASCAR, from the number one motorsport in the country. It should not be like this.
For sure. Rounding up the finishers here was Cody Ware, Kyle Larson had just a terrible day. Ryan Preece finishes 33rd. He won a stage. I don't know what happened to him. Ty Gibbs was involved in a crash. Austin Dillon involved in a crash. Daniel Suarez involved in a crash. And unfortunately, finishing last was Connor Zilic, man. He started off in a bad way at the beginning of the race, but was fighting his way back through the field, honestly. Was top 15 whenever he ended up crashing there, ruining his day. Good debut, though. As much like a last place finish is never good, but I feel like he impressed for what we saw of him.
Dude, anytime you can manage to work your way from basically last, second to last, up to what, 12th, 13th before everything went wrong for him again, it's crazy, dude. First ever Cup start. He won the Xfinity race yesterday. He must have been exhausted after that. I mean, it is no. I mean, dude, I can't even. I don't even want to speak on it because we're the same. We're the same age. Like, we are like that's crazy to me. This kid is
Dude,
young
it makes
and
me
he is
feel so
talented
old,
and
bro,
he is killing it,
it, to see
killing it,
drivers younger than me finally come to the Cup Series. It makes me feel older than shit, man. Like it just does. I mean, and I'm only
dude.
25. Like I'm
And
still
they're
like,
performing.
yeah,
Like they're not slacking. They're coming out here and they are showing up. And we have young champions now. Even like I know Blaney and Logano, like and Chase Elliott. Even they're a little older. They're not but still they're young. They're the younger generation of NASCAR, and they are the future. And it's
yeah.
great to
And
see.
NASCAR's kind of weird, like age wise. You don't hit your prime till your 30s. You know, like most of these other
Yeah,
sports are like, oh, your 20s, about 22 to 30s, your prime. NASCAR's hell, even normally it's about 32 to 43 is your prime, honestly, in NASCAR. Like, it's so much different. It's kind of like the WWE in that frame, you know? Uh, you don't hit your prime until you're kind of older, paid your dues, you know?
I mean, the way I like to see it is when you play a sport like basketball, you need a lot more physical drive and less, you need a lot of mental game in basketball, but a lot less more mental than physical, right? In NASCAR or in the NFL, it's the same thing. And then there's sports where it's like, you have the mental aspect, way less the physical aspect. NASCAR is perfectly in the middle, and it's just a perfect point where it is physical. You have to have smarts, you have to think, and to be a driver, I can't imagine just the way they have to think during a race in the car. It's crazy. It's a great sport just to watch. It's a great time to be a NASCAR fan. It is no better time to be a
It
NASCAR
really is.
fan, man.
If you're watching this right now and you have not watched a NASCAR race, I'm for you. What? Well, maybe not Phoenix. Maybe not Phoenix.
Yeah.
Bristol's coming up in a few weeks.
Bristol
Definitely
will be
watch
fun.
it.
Yep.
Love Bristol. Bristol's one of the best tracks.
Martinsville, even, man.
Yeah, Martinsville's coming up. Um, but let's get into the point standings as after today's race at Cota. William Byron takes over the full points lead over your boy Ron Blaney. Still second for Ron Blaney, only 2 points back. Not bad at all.
We'll take it. We'll
Then we
take
got
it. We'll take
Tyler
it.
Reddick, Christopher Bell. Let's see who else. We got Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Alex Bowman, Michael McDowell, currently 8th in points. That's what? Like, okay.
Dude, and it's crazy to me because I went to the Atlanta race. I was there, and he was a bum, man. I watched it. As soon as the race started, he dropped all the way back to last, and he was running off the pace behind all like Cody Ware and all them. And I was like, dude, what the heck? You're supposed to be running
He
up
had a
front,
fuel pump
Michael.
issue last week at Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at the track, so I couldn't hear. But I was like, what the heck is going on, Michael?
Dude, he was in the
Losing my
garage.
mind.
He was 6 laps down at one point and came back to
That's
finish 13th.
insane.
I love
That's
Michael
insane.
McDowell, bro. I love Michael McDowell. But yeah, 8th in points. Hell yeah. Kyle Busch 9th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. currently 10th. That's kind
My
of
boy
weird.
Seth Peters, bro, he would be losing his
He
mind. He
would.
is a big Ricky Stenhouse Jr. fan, bro.
Austin Cindric, Chris Buescher, Joey Logano, John Hunter Nemechek, Carson Hocevar, and Kyle Larson. If the playoffs started right now, that would be your 16 drivers in the playoffs. Um,
What the heck? Imagine that picture, all of them framed up next to each other.
I mean, there's not too many besides McDowell being all the way up there, Stenhouse and Nemechek, not and maybe and Hocevar, honestly, but still, I believe he gets in on points. He jumped
Dude,
up
he's just
15
fucking taller
spots.
than all of them.
He jumped
He's
up
just way
15
taller than
spots
all of
in
them.
this
It'd be
race.
funny.
Talking about some other jobbers that are beneath the cut line, Denny Hamlin and Shane Gisberg, 17 and 18. I don't believe Shane Van Gisberg gets in unless he wins a road course.
Yep. Which he could. He very well could.
Let's see, any big jobbers down here? Brad Keselowski, 26 in points. But we've had a weird three. The first three races are kind of weird. Daytona, Atlanta, Cota, kind of weird. But something that
Yeah.
is absolutely hilarious to me is that Jimmy Johnson, who only ran one race in the Daytona 500, is higher in points than Josh Berry, Cole Custer, and Ty Gibbs, and Cody Ware. But that makes sense. But Ty Gibbs, man, what a shitty
I
season.
want to talk about Ty Gibbs, dude. Oh my gosh. I was at Atlanta and I actually was talking about it with the people I was at the track with. He has not been showing up, man, and it sucks because I love Ty Gibbs. I rooted for
Dude,
him
he
the
started
Xfinity season. I
so
was a
good last
huge Ty Gibbs
season.
fan.
And then the
Dude, I
playoffs started,
know.
and he just shit the bed.
I don't, but like this year, dude, he is just sucked. Like, and it's not even like he's been a little off. He's running like 16th, 17th in the Joe Gibbs car, right? He is running like 25th, 26th place consistently, working his way up to like maybe 15th, and then just that's his peak, dude. And he's in a Gibbs car. It's his second year, or it's his third year now, right?
Third year, yeah, yeah.
Second or third. Third year, dude. He needs. I need to see more from him, man. And I hate to see it because I love him, but I just need more, dude.
But yeah, overall, Cota was a fun race. Excited for Phoenix next week. Kind of, I don't want to say, oh, we're going to a real track. I don't want to be one of them fans, but more of a traditional NASCAR track next
Yep.
week. Um,
Oval, kinda.
and I think that's where we really see who are some of the favorites this year. Because right now, I feel like the favorite for the championship has to be Christopher Bell. Uh,
I agree with you.
Christopher
100%.
Bell,
I think
William
he's
Byron.
been a favorite for the last couple of years, honestly, just with the way he's been in that championship hunt and making, in contention for a Final Four spot both years. He's been there.
But while we're here, who's your pick for Phoenix next week?
I know I have like I've said different picks in different places. Like I've definitely made different predictions, but if I had to think right now, off the top of my head, man, as much as I'd want to say someone like Ryan Blaney would get it done, I'm thinking Kyle Busch comes out, and I'm thinking he gets it done, man. I pick Kyle Busch.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun. I still don't see it happening. Like I just feel like Kyle Busch is cursed, and like he's just never gonna win again. I personally do think it's gonna be Ryan Blaney, man. Team Penske has Phoenix just absolutely figured out. I feel like Ryan Blaney bounces back from this disappointing race at Cota, goes ahead and locks himself in the playoffs, and wins at Phoenix next week. But this has been Jared. That's Caden. Next week
Yes,
we
sir.
won't be on this channel. We will have an actual channel, but I'll make a video saying, "Hey, go follow us here." Um, but this is kind of like episode 0. I hope y'all liked it. But yeah, we'll see y'all next week.
Thank you all. Hell